Welcome everyone to week 9. This is really where we get into the meat of the course. Weeks 9 through 13 will be quite involved, and then week 14 will be fairly simple. This class does not have a final exam like most classes, and so it ends with a fairly simple final project. But to make up for that, weeks 9 through 13, as I mentioned, will be quite involved in the assignments we have. We'll be launching full-fledged our marketing campaign. We'll be diving deep into Google Analytics, and those are going to be the topics that we cover this week to kind of introduce the next 4 to 5 weeks. So you'll see the two topics are relevance and quality score. That has to do with your Google Ads. I'll explain what that score is. You'll have project 3 to create a Google Ads campaign. You will not launch that this week, so please make note of that. No need to launch Google Ads this week, but you'll create that campaign. And then we'll get into the basics of Google Analytics, or at least linking Google Analytics with your site so you can begin to develop or generate some data for Google Analytics. Besides that, you'll just have your discussion boards and your reflection. So let's jump into relevance and quality score. I mentioned this one other time, but the process of getting an ad to display is not just a bidding process. You've already established your Google Ads campaign in the sense of setting up a bid price and a daily spend and those kinds of things. And the relevance and quality score is going to play into that process, because Google will assign a quality score to each of your ads saying, really, this is how well written or this is how effective your ad is. And if you have a higher quality score, you can win out the bidding process over someone else who is willing to pay more but has a lower quality score. So a higher quality score not only allows you, it allows your advertisement to display more often and at a higher point on the page, but it also allows you to save money. So you don't have to spend as much as others to get that ad to display in one of those top three spots on the page. So this assignment will go over what is that quality score. What plays into it? What do they look for? And I highly recommend this video, How Do I Improve My Quality Score on Google AdWords? It is a couple years old, but it plays well into what Google is looking for this. Then you'll create a Word document and you'll just answer these questions. If you had a quality score of 4, what are 3 things you'd recommend they do to increase it? And for each of those 3 items, explain why you think those changes will increase the quality score. That's about it. And then I hope you take those principles and apply them to your ads so you can get a higher quality score. Now keep in mind, oftentimes with Google Ads, you do need to actually launch the campaign before you'll see your own quality score on your ads. So as you write those ads, you will not see it right away, but I believe part of this algorithm that Google uses is to actually launch the campaign and display some of those ads, and then in that process you'll get a quality score. So after your discussion board on that, you'll jump into project 3. Project 3 is broken into 2 parts. You will just do part 1 this week, and to do this you will create your ads campaign, and all you need to do is create an ads campaign that contains 1 ad group, at least 2 ads, and at least 10 keywords. That's it. Just a small video explanation here. We're really just prepping this for launch next week. So it says, important, do not run your campaign until you receive further instructions in week 10. For now, you're only creating an ads campaign, but launching will come next week. So fairly simple project. As I mentioned, project 1 and 2 are a little bit more time intensive, and that's certainly true for project 3. It's really about launching that campaign. Project 4 will be a little more involved than Project 3 as we start to gather and analyze that data. But I still don't think it quite hits the level of Projects 1 and 2 as far as dedication of time. So we'll jump into Google Analytics now. Google Analytics, for those who are not familiar with that product, will gather tracking data and information for anybody that comes to your website. And so if they come and they come to the home page from a Google search, let's say, well, Google Analytics will tell you that. If they spend 5 minutes on average on a product page, which for the record would be an extremely long time, that means you've built an effective products page. You're keeping people there. If you have what's called a high bounce rate, meaning people show up to your website or show up to a certain page and leave almost immediately, well, you need to find a way to capture the attention of those visitors. And all of this information is in Google Analytics. It's a treasure trove of data. Later on in the semester, we will do some activities on how to assess that data, how to utilize that data to make it relevant to your business. But right now, we're just trying to set up how to gather that information. What you will do is develop a code snippet similar to what you developed for the payment button. But this time you will, excuse me, you will paste that tracking code, that code snippet on your website. If you're unsure of where to do this, this is extremely common, and your site builder will have instructions for you. If they're not readily available on their website, you can reach out to them and they'll show you where to paste the Google Analytics code. But most site builders will make this very obvious because this is virtually ubiquitous. Almost every website is going to have this set up in some form or fashion. So these readings will help you understand what is Google Analytics, how do you establish that tracking code, and then how to link your Google Analytics and your Google Ads account. We'll do an assignment later on where you can combine these two for a really powerful tool to measure what we call return on investment. So you know, based on how much you spend in Google Ads, you know exactly how much money you're getting back, which makes marketing very powerful. That's very uncommon in marketing to be able to do that. And one of the reasons why Google Ads can be so effective. So that's why you're linking those two together. But the assignment is to establish a Google Analytics tracking code, paste it on your website, link Google Ads and Google Analytics, and then create a Word document that shows the following. So I want to see the tracking code, paste the tracking code, and explain where you pasted it on your website. Then explain how you link Google Analytics and Google Ads, and finally explain why you feel Google Ads will help your business be more successful. So the essence of this assignment is so that I can see you're established with these items, you're ready to go, because we'll use them both in the near future. Keep in mind that if you establish a traditional brick and mortar business, it would cost you it would cost you tens of thousands of dollars at least to gather this information. You have people who will stand in grocery stores and observe how people flow through the store. Companies historically have paid a lot of money to know this information. That's one of the reasons why web business is so powerful and why you can adapt so readily to your potential customers and make a good experience for them. It's because you have the data on that from the beginning. It may take a few months or even a few years to refine that and make it effective, but you have the information and you can act on it. That will be it for this week. Excuse me, not week 7, week 9. I can get my screen to cooperate. On week 9, let me know if there are hiccups along the way or if you're struggling with either of these. Be happy to jump in and help out. But we're really at this point, an exciting point in the semester as we kick things off and moving into the final 4 or 5 weeks here. Thanks, everyone.